We are recording this. So for everybody that's joined, we are going to send the recording and the slide deck after this webinar. So you'll get everything that we're sharing with in your inboxes after the webinar, and we'll also share it with those that couldn't make it today. But that registered, and it'll also be shared on the Over the Edge website, which we'll talk about and walk through today too. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started. So welcome to the Over the Edge webinar. This is something that we do every month or so as we lead up to the event. So if you know of somebody that wanted to be here and couldn't make it, we'll likely be having another one in September. Just to share more about the event, walk through what it looks like since it is an unusual event, a little bit different, and answer any questions that you might have. Let me go to the next slide. So who are we? I am Kristen O'Leary Jones. I'm the development director here at CSCLA. So all things fundraising primarily, events and marketing a little bit as well. And then Kelsey, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Kelsey Funk. I'm the Development and Communications Coordinator. I help Kristen with fundraising and events, and I do manage a lot of our social media, newsletter, marketing, that kind of thing as well. You'll hear from me a lot over this process.
And Kate, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Kate Cowan. I work with Over the Edge as an account manager. So I work with Kristen and Kelsey to just help get the details all ironed out before the event day.
Awesome. So we can answer hopefully any questions you have about the fundraising side of things, the event side of things, and the rappelling side here today. And if not, we'll find the answers for you. So I'm assuming, I realized I didn't put a slide in here about what is Cancer Support Community LA. I'm kind of assuming that you already know who we are, but just in case you don't, we are a nonprofit here in Los Angeles that serves cancer patients, survivors, and their family members, their caregivers, in all of the social, emotional, and mental health supports that are needed during a cancer diagnosis and journey. So we complement the medical side of things with support groups, individual counseling, education. We have healthy lifestyle classes like yoga, mindfulness, Tai Chi. And we also have child, teen, and family programs as well. So we're based here in Los Angeles, but we also serve the Coachella Valley and Palm Springs regions as well. And we serve about 4,000 people annually with all of those services. All right, so diving into what is this event? So as we were thinking of coming up with an event last year, we were looking for something that could really bring the community together and something that our members, the folks that utilize our services, could join us in both fundraising, but also just having fun and having a good community day where we all come together and celebrate those that are survivors, honor those that have passed, and just bring awareness to cancer and early detection and all that jazz. So we came up with Over the Edge. It's something that some of our affiliates, if you're familiar with the cancer support community and Gilda's clubs across the country, we are one affiliate of many, and some of the other affiliates had success with this event in years past. And so we're working with, Over the Edge is a company that Kate works for that does all of the rappelling and harnessing and all of the logistics for us. And so the premise of the event is that rappellers fundraise at least $1,000 for their ability to rappel down the building on October 4th this year. This is our second year doing it. We've found a home in the Andaz West Hollywood. It's also where we hosted our gala this year. It's a beautiful building right on Sunset Boulevard, right next to the Comedy Store, right where Pink Taco used to be. So it's in a really kind of iconic area if you know West Hollywood and Sunset Boulevard. Lots of folks driving by that can see the rappelling, and it's got a really beautiful space for us to host the party side of things. So rappellers raise money to rappel. We also have sponsorships available. So we do have companies and foundations that can get their logo and branding on the Andaz and throughout the event space. That does come with rappelling opportunities as well. So we're happy to share. We have the DO, the Ronnie Dio Shout and Stand Up to Cancer Fund. It's a long name. Joining us again this year, they're going to have a team of 10 rappellers. Last year we had Pfizer as a sponsor, we had JP Morgan as a sponsor. And so if you know of any companies or you work for any companies that might want to either have a team or sponsor and have branding, we're open to that as well, which I'll talk more about as we continue. All right, so hopefully this works. We have a couple of videos. They're very brief videos, but for those that weren't able to attend last year, I think they give a really good feel for what you'd be walking into if you join us this year. Oops. All right, so that kind of gave a feel for throughout the venue. You could see some snapshots. Whoops. Go to the next slide. Here we go. And then this video is our CEO, Julia, who rappelled last year and is also going to rappel again this year. This shows more of her journey and the actual rappelling itself. All right, so you could see a little bit more of the building itself. It's a 14-story building, and we do have 2 ropes going at the same time. So you aren't rappelling alone, you're rappelling with someone else. So last year, here's a few more pictures. We had 55 rappellers join us, and we raised about $100,000, which was amazing for our first time event. And we had over 200 people join the party. So we'll talk about how your friends and family can join and watch you do the rappelling and support you along the way. On the left there, that is Stephen Rosen. He's one of our board members. He went over the edge with his wife, so they rappelled together down those 2 ropes in honor of his father. And then on the right side is an adorable group of kiddos. The little boy in the white hat is our friend Bradford. He was diagnosed with cancer last year and is happily cancer-free right now. And so a couple of the adults in his life went rappelled in his honor, and so they had Team Bradford in his honor. So that's his friend Lauren that rappelled. So I mentioned the venue is the Andaz West Hollywood. So it's a 14-story building. The rappelling starts, it's not completely from the roof. It's from a guest suite on the 14th floor. And then the landing party, if you can see on this picture where those tall trees are, is the driveway. And so we close off the driveway completely. It's only foot traffic. There's no cars coming down. We close it off so people can land that are rappelling. And then we also have different booths and stations, food and drink and things out on the driveway so that people can have signs and use sidewalk chalk to write messages and cheer on the people that are rappelling. And then we also have on the second floor, which in this picture is kind of that first row, it looks like, of mirrored windows. On the mezzanine, we also have that floor reserved for the party. And so from inside the building, it's got floor to ceiling windows, and you can see outside the people rappelling right outside the front of the building. So again, we have a cash bar there. We'll have food there. So if you're inviting friends and family, whether they're on the mezzanine or on the driveway, they'll see you rappelling and they can cheer you on and enjoy the party. And hi, Julia. Our CEO, you missed your video, but we showed your rappelling.
Oh, I don't even know if I've seen that video. It's all a blur.
So we're just going through kind of all the ins and outs of the event. So that's the venue. As a rappeller, from now until Rappel Day, there is a form that needs to be filled out. So Kelsey will pop in the chat our website, which you've hopefully already visited, which is why you're here. But there's a little register to rappel button. The form itself shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. It's really just getting your contact information, your t-shirt size, some basic information about you. And what that form will do is create a fundraising page for you. And from there, once you're signed up with a fundraising page, we will send you a toolkit. That toolkit will have things like templates for emails, templates for social media. So if you're not sure how to ask for dollars, if you're not sure how to talk about what CSCLA does, it's got all the information you need in that toolkit. And it also connects to a Google Drive link with different graphics. So if you are on social media, you don't have to create your own graphics. You can share what we've been posting, or you can grab those graphics that we're sharing. If you're sending emails to friends, you can just copy and paste from that toolkit. So you don't have to, think about what to write in an email. We try to make it as easy as possible for you. And we'll also be having periodic emails from me. I'll try not to inundate you, but we will be emailing along the way to let you know how other folks are doing, keep us all motivated, answer any questions that you have. And then leading up to the event day, we'll also have another webinar similar to this, but with more detail about what to expect day of. So there's going to be multiple options for you to, if you have questions, reach out to us, but also we'll have formalized ways for you to learn more. So you can fundraise at any point kind of from now until event day. As we get closer, we need to have shown that you've fundraised. Last year, it was about $750 before the day of. If you hadn't hit that mark, you either had to make a donation of yourself to get to that point, so that we could definitely reserve the spot for you. So if you're at $0 on September 30th, you might not be rappelling. We have to make sure that you're actually fundraising to hold that rappel spot for you. So fundraising is really, really important. There's going to be other folks that want to do it. And so we want to make sure we're reserving them for those that are fundraising for CSCLA. And then day of, to prepare, there honestly isn't much preparing that you have to do. There is no experience required. There's no physical requirements. The only requirements is that you're between about 100 and about 300 pounds, so that the harness fits you. But otherwise, there's nothing else you need to do. Kate can speak to Over the Edge's experience, but they've worked with all sorts of people, all different backgrounds, all different abilities. We had teenagers last year. From my understanding, I think you've had people above the age of 100 that have rappelled in the past.
Yep.
So there's nothing you need to do in terms of preparation. As I said, we'll talk in a separate webinar about like what to wear and that type of thing, but you're also pretty much free to wear what you want. So you can wear a costume if you want to. There are some things, you have to wear a helmet and you have to wear a harness. So as long as it's not getting in the way of those two things, you're free to wear what you want. We had folks last year in Spider-Man costume, in a giraffe onesie. We had a drag queen. We had women in capes that looked like superheroes coming down the side of the building. So we encourage you to have fun with it, especially if you're thinking about building a team. You can wear matching outfits. I think, Julie, you had like little butterfly wings, if I remember correctly. So you can kind of have fun with it, and honor folks that have been impacted by cancer through what you wear. And then day of, you'll check in, we'll give you a time, which will ask you for what time you prefer, but you'll come in, you'll check in, and you'll get trained by the Over the Edge team. So they'll train you for about 20 to 30 minutes. You'll do kind of a practice rappel, just off of a stool, just to get used to the harness and what it feels like and how to use the ropes and everything. And they'll make sure that you feel comfortable before actually going to the ledge to rappel. So you do that in a separate area, little training area, before going over to rappel. And then you get the fun of rappelling. As I said, you get to rappel with somebody. So if you have a friend or a family member in mind, you can invite them to rappel with you. It takes place outside of the 14th floor. So you go to a guest room, stand on the ledge and inch your way down. The rappelling itself, it depends on how quickly you want to speed down the building. But I would say it's about 10 minutes or so, 5 to 15 minutes to get down the side of the building. And when you land, there's a big cheering section of folks holding signs and cheering you on. There's music playing, and then you can just enjoy and celebrate. Rappellers do get a free drink ticket. I mentioned we have a cash bar. You do get a drink for free, which you have to utilize after the rappel. Unfortunately, you cannot drink or have any other substance use before the rappelling, but afterwards you're welcome to stick around and enjoy the music, have a drink, have some food, and watch other folks do their rappelling. I mentioned that we encourage you to invite your friends and family. They can, of course, attend the landing party, which is just the party part of things, just to watch. But if they would like to rappel, we have an incentive. So if you invite someone, if you challenge someone to rappel with you and they accept the challenge, we'll take $100 off the fundraising for both of you. So right now, if you've signed up just as yourself, the minimum is $1,000. If you recruit someone and they say yes, we'll lower that minimum to $900 for both of you. And that continues on. So if your friend wants to recruit someone and they're now at $900 and they recruit someone, we'll lower it $100. So the idea here is that we're hoping that that will challenge people and we'll build teams this way, and just encourage that group atmosphere. I've shared with, I'll share with each of you with that fundraising toolkit, a little graphic that you can share to, it's like a flyer that you can either email to people or print out and hand to people to share with folks, for them to accept the challenge. And if not, they can at least donate to your page. If they're not willing to rappel, they can support you in your rappelling. All right. So for the landing party, as I mentioned, this is a picture of the mezzanine space. So we'll have a DJ, we'll have a cash bar set up. You, as a fundraiser, attend for free, and you also get 2 free guest tickets. The landing party is $25 per ticket. So for anybody above 2 guests that you have, they'll have to pay. We'll give you a code to give to them that when they fill out their landing party tickets, they get that for free. That includes food. So food is included in that price. And then we have a cash bar as well. As I mentioned, you'll get a free drink ticket for use after the rappelling. I already mentioned that rappelling can be viewed from both the mezzanine, so from both inside and outside. I think for the most part, people hung out inside because it was a pretty warm day last year, and then the DJ would announce who's coming down. And so you would listen for your friend or family member and then go outside to the driveway to watch them rappel from outside, but you can see them from either place. And then we also have some fun activities, particularly if you have kids coming. We do have sidewalk chalk and sign making. So there's little arts and crafts that they can do to build signs to cheer on the rappellers. We have an honor memory wall with little carabiners that are used for rappelling. So you can write a message of who you're rappelling in honor of, or for guests to just write a little note to honor those folks. And then I mentioned we have a DJ as well. So it's a party atmosphere. It's definitely a fun day. All right, so this gives the snapshot of how to join as an individual. I mentioned the basic rappel spot is $1,000, so that's your minimum to fundraise. Last year, I will say most people went above and beyond that. I think our average is about $1,500 that was raised per rappeller, which was amazing and really surprised us and impressed us. So if you're worried about being able to hit that minimum, as I said, we have a toolkit for you. We'll help you. We'll guide you throughout. And we feel pretty confident that based on last year, most of our rappellers, if not all of them, will be able to hit that goal. You can challenge a friend to join you. And then, as I mentioned, we have the landing party tickets as well. For those folks that are signing up before the 15th, we're also going to be sending out a welcome package. So if you are here and you are interested, please sign up in the next couple of days through that register to rappel button, and we'll make sure to get you that package.
Hey, Kristen.
Mhm.
Stuart just had a question. It's a good question. If he raises 1,800, will we let someone rappel with him?
That's a great question, actually. Yes, because the answer is yes. If it's we had said $2,000, but I guess it would be 900 times 2 because you're challenging a friend. So yeah, that would count for 2 spots. Just let us know so that we know to hold a spot for you if you hit that amount. But yes, absolutely. We had some folks do that last year. All right, speaking of fundraising, so I mentioned that we'll share this fundraising toolkit with you once you sign up. It includes a to-do checklist, super simple. You know, what are the things that you need to do between now and October 4th? And as I mentioned, it has all sorts of templates. So email templates, social media templates, fundraising tips of how to hit your goal, as well as organization and event talking points. So as I was saying, sometimes it's we struggle with how to talk about CSCLA, or what is this organization? Why should you support it? So all the information you need will be in that toolkit. And then for, I mentioned this earlier, we do have sponsorships available. So if you know of a business or a company or an entity, you know, it could be a Rotary Club or something like that that wants to get involved, or a foundation that has a group of people. They all include rappelling spots, but they also included added benefits of having your logo. We have some pictures you can see from last year. There's a big step and repeat that people take pictures in front of. You can have your signage, or a booth or a table. You could have swag giveaways, that type of thing. We also have a nonprofit partnership. So right now we have 2 partners that are joining us. One is We Got This, which actually has the table in that picture there, which is a cancer registry. So for those that are impacted by cancer, We Got This offers, it's a website that you can go on, kind of like a wedding registry or a baby registry, but it's for those impacted by cancer. So you can set up a registry and you know, note the things that you need in that time. Often when people are diagnosed, there's the question of how can we support you? What can we do? This is a good way to have a list that you can share a link, and they can support you through anything from purchasing items that might be useful, but also just gift cards and kind of supporting you in meals and food and that type of thing. So We Got This is one of our nonprofit partners. F Cancer is our second partner as well. And so they're going to be joining on a marketing front. We do have one more opening for a nonprofit partner. Similarly, if you know of any cancer related nonprofits that might want to have a presence, they're helping us. They also get a free rappel spot, but they also just help market the event and build the cancer awareness side of things for the event. All right, and then the last slide before we open it up for questions and answers is we also need volunteers for the day of. We need rope volunteers, which is slightly different than event volunteers. These are the folks that are going to help the Over the Edge team with the actual rappelling. You similarly don't need any experience. All the training will happen. But obviously, hopefully you're not scared of heights. You're excited by this idea. A rappel is included in it through the training. So you get to do a rappel to feel what it feels like. For the rope volunteers, there is a requirement that you are there on Friday afternoon for a few hours and all day Saturday. So it really is a pretty long work shift and work commitment, but you get to be part of the entire event. So Friday afternoon, you come and you get trained by the Over the Edge team. After they've set up the ropes, you do your own rappel. And then on Saturday, throughout the day, you are the ones that are helping belay the ropes, helping with people up at the ledge, make sure they have all their equipment on correctly, doing extra safety checks, just being an extra set of eyes and ears and hands for the Over the Edge team. And then we also need general event volunteers. These are in 4-hour shifts just on Saturday to help with things like checking in rappellers, checking in party guests, being a friendly face at the sign making station, helping bring the gear once the folks land, bring the helmets and things back up to the top for other folks to use. So just helping the event run smoothly. So for both of those, we still have volunteer spots open. This is a great way if you do have friends and family that are coming anyways, and they're able to do a 4-hour shift before or after your rappel spot, or we had some rappellers last year who even they signed up for event volunteer spots because they were there anyways. So we'd be happy to have you kind of join in other elements throughout it as well. And there's also a volunteer sign up on the same website that is to the Register to Rappel site. So all the information is there. All right, now that I've talked at everybody for half an hour, are there any questions? And from here, as I said, you can use the chat feature, or you can, if you raise your hand, then we can make it so that you're able to talk.
Kristen, are you able to drop the link to the website? Because apparently when I sent it, it just went to host and panelists.
Oh, okay. I'm going to stop sharing for a minute and I will do that.
And Kristen, can I just say, hi, everybody. I'm Julia. I'm the CEO here. And I just want to thank you for your interest in helping our small but mighty organization raise funds for our free of charge services. I did it last year. I'm very afraid of heights. It was really a great experience. I'm doing it again this year. And Over the Edge people are fantastic. It trust me, it requires no skill whatsoever to do this. You're harnessed in, and it's an amazing feeling when you get to the bottom. And it's also amazing to make it a meaningful experience. I went over the edge in memory of my father and grandfather who died of cancer. And then this year I'm going over the edge in memory of several friends who have died of cancer this year, and one family member. And the fundraising aspect, I think my friends were so shocked that I was doing this because they know me. They just kept, throwing money at me. So it was no problem to raise I do not have wealthy friends, by the way. So I really hope that you'll join us and spread the word about this really incredible fun day.
Thank you. And I saw there is one question, which Kate, I'm going to ask you to answer. Sheila asked, are there any qualifications for rope volunteers?
No, really, it doesn't take any special experience. They go over everything you need to know in the training. The only thing to know, and Kristen mentioned it's a long day. So if being on your feet and being outside isn't something that's great for you, it's maybe not the right role for you. But it is incredibly rewarding to be, the volunteers on the edge, to be there at the moment where somebody's, having the vulnerable, moment of taking that step over the edge. Also working belay on the ground, to be there when somebody finishes their rappel and how excited they are to be done, and they're hugging you and so excited to be done. But if you want to be involved and heights or heat aren't for you, they also need some volunteers in the staging area. So there's tons of ways to be involved on the rope crew. And there's a spot for you, depending on your preferences. But they will teach you everything you need to know, and you get to go through the whole experience as if you're a participant while you're being trained. So everybody you help event day, like you've already done it. You've done everything that you're asking them to do. So that's one of the reasons, besides just a thank you and a benefit to doing the rappel that way.
Yeah. And then Stuart asked, when do we get the free party tickets? I can send it to you now, since you already signed up, Stu. Basically, once you hit that $1,000 mark, you get access to the code for the free tickets, and I'll share that with you, and you can share that with them to purchase their tickets, or you could purchase it on their behalf. And by purchase, I mean you use the code just to reserve a ticket for them.
And I just want to add too that if you are open to going over the edge for multiple people, in terms of making it meaningful, that what I also did, not just for my grandfather and my father, is I said to my friends, anyone who gives me this amount of money, I'll wear your loved one's name on my back as I go over the edge. So I had like these butterfly wings, and it's just like, a hand wrote a bunch of names. That also was really meaningful for people who wanted me to do that. So just thought I'd pass that on.
Awesome. And I just responded in the chat, but I'll say it verbally too. So once the steps are, first click that register to rappel button, fill out that form. Once you've done that, you'll get an email. It'll be from me, but the email will be development@cancersupportla.org with the fundraising toolkit and your next steps. So if for some reason you didn't get that email, or it got lost in spam, or whatever the case may be, just let us know and we will send it out to you. I'm going to put in the chat too what that email is. The development@cancersupportla.org email goes to both Kelsey and I. So we'll make sure that you get that toolkit and the links to everything that you need. But yes, please let us know if for some reason you didn't get that.
Just a note on fundraising. I know you're getting closer to the event, and some people are a little nervous about reaching the goal. And we have plenty of events across the country, and we've got some statistics that show that it typically takes people about 10 sponsors or 10 supporters in about 2 weeks. If you're reaching out to your network and asking for help, it's actually pretty attainable, the $1,000. And I think Kristen mentioned earlier, if you're actively fundraising, you know, they'll let you go at a certain point if you know, at event day. So it's not, it's $1,000 sounds like a lot, but when you reach out to your network, you can actually hit it pretty quickly.
And one other thing about that, like wearing people's names on your back. So I have a few friends already who want, you know, their loved ones on my back, and they are very happy to forward my fundraising email to their networks of people who knew their loved ones. So that is also another tip. Again, if you're open to having wearing those folks or friends or family names on your back. It doesn't have to be in memory. Anybody who's going through cancer right now, just in support and recognition of somebody.
Yeah, and something with fundraising too, which I kind of mentioned, you know, you don't necessarily have to hit the $1,000 before event day, but we have to show progress towards it. Because event day is a great day to fundraise. You know, people might, you know, make a donation now a couple months in advance. And then if you ask them again, like, I actually did it, or I'm actually doing it today, that they might make another donation as a congratulations to you as a you did it. Or to send that reminder day of if they forgot, and then they see that you're doing it. So it's also something where this is in the toolkit. You might have to ask people a couple of times for them to actually like push that donate button. And some might want to wait until they're seeing you do it or it's actually happening, and that's okay, which is why we leave the fundraising open until the day of. And so you can continue to keep that open and keep the fundraising going. A lot of people got mostly there, and then day of they, you know, well exceeded their goal. And that's what I was saying. A lot of people went way beyond $1,000 because all of a sudden they are sharing, you know, pictures and videos with their friends and family saying, this is what I'm doing. And it might have been somebody they forgot, you know, oh, I forgot to tell my coworkers I was doing this. And now they want to donate. They're hearing me talk about it. They're hearing my excitement. And so donations come in right before and right after as well.
A lot of people also don't know that their companies have corporate matching programs. So even if you're not sure, just ask your employer, because they'll often match if you make a contribution, or if one of your friends, the organization they work for, if they make a contribution, their employer might match it, which helps you reach your goal so much quicker.
Yeah, that does count towards your fundraising goal as well. Keep track of that.
And it also helps, I'll just mention, to reach out personally as much as you can. Like, try to avoid a blanket email to your whole network. If you can address each person by name in a separate email and include a photo of whoever you're rappelling in honor of, or a photo of yourself, it's a nice visual reminder. It feels very personal, and I think people just respond to it. It's more of a personal ask, and they'll be more likely to, you know, give you a donation. And I'm happy to help create any social media content for you with your images if you want. So just reach out to me at that development@Cancer Support LA email, and I can help you with that.
That's great. Thanks, Kelsey. Kelsey is our marketing and graphic guru. Any other questions? I'm not seeing any other questions in the Q&A or the chat.
Your presentation was very thorough. I'm just thinking, do I have anything to share? And then you said, you know, one of the biggest things is people not knowing what rappelling is. And I mean, you have lots of pictures and stuff like that. People think, oh, it's not for me, I can't do that, you know, and you don't need any experience to do it. In fact, most people who go over the edge have never done anything like this, are afraid of heights. I mean, I've put, you know, probably 50 grandmothers over the edge. I mean, anybody can do it. So, yeah. So I mean, your presentation was very thorough and made it very clear that this is for everybody. This is for anybody.
That's true. We've had a lot of people jokingly say, oh, I'm jumping off a building. And just to clarify,
Right. That's a good point.
not jumping. You're
Yeah.
going pretty slow.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, that's
and
the
there's
biggest
no
thing about it.
climbing up. There's no climbing up. It's just going down, which is the easy part. And I didn't mention this too. I know we've gotten this question. We do have a couple on the website. There's a rappelling section which has some frequently asked questions. For those that are scared of heights or are nervous or afraid you're going to freak out the day of, As we've said, there's multiple people along the way that will be coaching you and guiding you and holding your hand throughout the process. But the rappelling itself is also very, very safe. You'll actually be connected to 2 ropes, your actual rope and kind of a backup rope. And so if anything should happen that you're scared or you freeze up, the over the edge team can help lower you down or can talk you through. There's going to be a walkie-talkie on you, so you'll always be in communication with the over the edge team. So they've thought of everything in terms of safety, and I think all of us last year were really happy and pleased with the experience with Over the Edge. But as you said, we didn't have anybody that chickened out. Everybody did it. Everybody enjoyed it. Everybody got to the bottom. Some more relieved than others, but everybody did it and everybody loved it.
Yeah, just one thing about that, like I would never zip line. I would never bungee jump. I would never do anything like that. So just to emphasize, I'm just too chicken to emphasize you're stepping off the edge, you're facing the building, you're walking down the building. It's not like you're going whee, out into the air or anything like that. So that really helped someone like me who is afraid of heights.
Yeah, and you are in total control. So like you said, in comparison to a zip line, once you go, you're going. When you go over the edge, you're controlling the descent with the lever. And so if you stop because you just need a breather or you want to turn around and wave at your fans, like if you're not pulling the lever, you're not going. So you're going as fast or as slow as you want to go. So you're always in control.
I'll also, while I have it in my mind, a question that we got a lot last year was people wanted to bring their friend or family member up to the roof with them to watch them go down from the top. And just so you know ahead of time that's not allowed. They'll have to watch you from either the driveway or from the party. And that's just everyone who's on the rooftop has to have signed a waiver and been a fundraiser themselves. So bring your friends and family members. They just can't come to the roof with you. And then I'll also mention, if you collect donations that are cash or check, I can help you with that. I'll make sure that it reflects on your fundraising page. So just reach out to us if you can get us the funds, if it's in cash form or check. I'll make sure that their donation reflects on your fundraising page.
That's a great point. All right. Well, I don't see any other questions that are popping up. So thank you all for joining. As I said, I'll send over the recording that we just did and the slides to everybody that registered for the webinar. And you have our email is right there, development@cancersupportla.org. So feel free to reach out with us with any questions, and we hope that you'll sign up before the 15th. We'll send you a little welcome package. And we're just under 2 months to the big event. So we're excited. Even if you decide not to rappel or it's not for you, that's okay. We hope you'll still join as a volunteer or as a donor, or join the landing party as a guest. But we hope you will take the leap with us and go over the edge.
You just made me think of one thing. As the rope volunteers, if you're a rope nerd and love knots and rigging and all that, and you don't want to go over the edge, you can still be a rope volunteer. They would absolutely love your help. It's very rewarding to be on the edge and to help people over. Any of the positions you are allowed to do if you sign up as a rope volunteer, but choose not to go over the edge. So that is not a requirement. It is a perk. It is a thank you to you, but you can still be a rope volunteer without rappelling.
That's a great point. I think we've had that question. Do I have to?
We don't make you do it.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.